British Columbia's tech sector is one of the highest areas of economic growth in the country. The tech sector in Greater Victoria outpaces the national average in revenue, totaling over $5 billion and employing about 17,000 people. This rapid growth has created a huge demand for talent, new, diverse, and productive. What does this mean for underrepresented groups in the sector? How does this impact productivity? We brought together a diverse group of women across industries in tech to share their experiences and explore what gender equity means to them. We invited them to participate in a simple exercise, to share how their experiences have impacted their growth in the sector. We also invited men in tech to be part of the conversation to discuss what gender equity means to them. Is it possible for us to just... Yeah. Try it. Okay. Okay, are we ready? Are we good? Okay. Do you find it sometimes difficult or impossible to fit into the predominant culture at work because of unspoken or subliminal issues of gender, race, sexuality, or other forms of discrimination?
I had a life when I was in India before I moved here. I sacrificed the whole life because I was told to be someone else. And moving to Canada, I suffered a huge imposter syndrome, the society saying, people saying that I'm not good enough. I have to do something to be good enough. Why? I'm already motivated, I am here to help others. I'm here to share my story, be vulnerable. But when I started to be vulnerable, people thought that was a weakness. I was victimized.
I'm too young to look for what I want. I'm too young to ask for what I want. It's something that I've learned. I need to hide my emotions. If I want to get the job, I need to be like this. I need to do that. I can't talk about this. I need to be a part of the club.
I think just being a minority in the group can discourage women from stepping up, just in general. If I were to look around and see that I was a clear minority in a group, I would probably be discouraged from stepping up or taking on a leadership role.
When I came to Canada, I was 21 and I was going after what I wanted. I was in a culture that I felt was more equal opportunities. There was more things I can do, and if I work hard, like the American dream, I can get it. And then when I get to the work environment, well, now I'm aggressive. I'm like, no, I'm gonna ask for that promotion. I know I did the right work. I know I did it right. And as soon as I start talking this way, wow, you're aggressive.
If we're seen as emotional or thoughtful or empathetic or, those are weaknesses. Those are things you need to hide because it's not professional. And that's very frustrating. We represent 50% of the population and that these are strengths that we as women have. They're not weaknesses.
As an immigrant, we worked there, we already had some sort of experience and established. Of course, the cultures, we come from a different culture and we have a different background, but it's all the same foundation.
For someone to undermine an experience that I had built from somewhere else tells me that when I go in there, they're probably going to look at me like, oh, your education is from Nigeria, so hey, you don't qualify.
When I got into tech and I co-founded this first enterprise software company, and I worked so hard, at the end of that, found out that a fair amount of my team thought that my role as president and co-founder of the company was because I was sleeping with my co-founder. And I was like, what?
There's a stoicism, there's yes, we all acknowledge that there is sexism and discrimination of other types going on, but we must succeed in spite of that.
Do you think there are deterrent negative perceptions of women's caregiving or traditional roles in society, which in turn impacts the kinds of opportunities women can access in the tech workplace?
the workplace expectation that for women to give 110 or 120% to the workplace in terms of their professional capacity while caring for the family is pragmatically unrealistic.
There is gender inequality in the home. I am the primary caregiver of my kids. I take care of all their doctor's appointments and their buffers and everything else. I do have to balance my time, and it doesn't mean that I don't put in good quality work.
What I would say is that women are very good at multitasking, and I think that the measures that should be applied should be weighted differently.
You are learning something really valuable about the world because you have a mother who works. Women are intelligent, they're responsible, they're capable, and they wear all sorts of hats and do it very well. Like, you are lucky to have a mother who is a professional and is working and doing things in the world.
My most important job is being a father, and especially to my 16-year-old son, to teach him and to show him what the world is like, and not only what it's like today, but what is possible.
Do you feel the need to overcompensate or show more commitment than your male counterparts in order to be deemed relevant at your work?
As a white male, I feel very keenly that there's a real sense of privilege that I was just born into, that I didn't earn and is just given to me.
Definitely being sort of a man and being Canadian and being white, it makes it easier for me to just kind of like slide into group situations without any sort of difficulties or perceptions from other people.
I have experienced being the only woman in the boardroom, and even when I'm the chair of the meeting, I'm asked to take notes and get coffee and those sorts of things. So when I went to live in Toronto and work on Bay Street, I had to relearn how to speak. Everyone else would be casually dressed, and I was in a business suit, and you have to work harder.
Yeah.
I was one of 3 women in a platoon of 32 in artillery, and I had a lot of men coming up to me saying, what are you doing here? Girls can't do this, the classic lingo. So you basically had to go over and above what they were capable of in order to establish your place in that group.
In the last while, I actually went around the 3 floors of somewhere I was working and counted the lady names on the doors of the people that had offices, because that represented the directors and above. And of 3 floors, there were 1.5 lady names, right? Half being a shared office, somebody that was an occasional HR person, and I brought it up because that is a very clear, understandable metric. Like, this is a men's club.
Do you believe men and women are equal in the workplace and should be able to access the same opportunities and given the same responsibilities?
Gender equity in the context of technology is an extremely interesting topic because technology, for the purists, should be gender agnostic. It should be gender neutral. Companies are hoping that their products are going to be used by everyone. They're not hoping that they'll only be used by men. They're not hoping that they'll only be used by women, right? If your product is to be used by everyone, why would you consider, the contributions of a subset of society to be more meaningful than the others?
Never thought about myself differently from men, and I've always focused on the fact that I'm doing my job, I'm trying to do a good job, and I want to be best at what I'm doing. And I haven't really thought about it from a men and a women perspective ever.
Gender equity to me means that gender doesn't matter. Everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed at the things that they want to do.
The thing that they can add to the society, to the community, or the tech is very important. No matter their gender or any other disability or whatever, their appearance is not very important. their body is not important. The things that they really are is very, very important.
I'm a full person, so just don't take the part that just works for you or that works for your environment, so you can put me in one spot or another.
Business is a team sport. You've got to have players with different strengths, right? Different attitudes, ideas, perspectives, experience. And to have a winning team, you've got to have a diverse team. You just have to have it.
Every person in the room has a voice. Every person feels that they've been seen and they've been heard, because there's no way you can flourish a human system or a company or a group of people if you cannot hear all the voices all together and they're all equal and they all are in a safe space so they can grow and flourish together.
Companies, if they don't look at their workforce as asexual as possible, I think that they're tainting their own designs, that they are biasing their own products.
The future of tech depends on equitable access to opportunities for all. Business leaders and employers will play an important role in creating the best experiences.
There are plenty of reasons, just from a social justice perspective, on why diversity and inclusion should be a priority. But even if that isn't understood by a business, they should understand the business case, which is not only are you going to be more innovative, not more creative, but right now almost every tech company in the world is struggling to find the talent that they need. And there's an untapped workforce, whether or not that's other cultures or other gender, that are available. And so as we look in Victoria in particular, we're looking at being a $10 billion sector by 2030. So that's 2.5 times growth, which means 12 to 15,000 more people that we need to work in our tech sector in the next 12 years. And the best place we can find that is going to be from people who have moved here from other parts of the world and from the women who haven't engaged in the tech force yet.
People coming from different countries brings in different points of views, brings in a different perspective of way of thinking. If we mix that with sort of the context and the culture that we have here, it brings out the best of both worlds.
Collaboration is at the core of our work and culture. We have 15 countries represented here at Freshworks, so including Canada, where our employees either were born in or grew up in one of 15 countries from around the world.
I think some people may be reluctant to introduce diversity because they're just not used to it and they're not sure what to expect. But the really smart ones have found that if they want to have the best company possible, the more that they have diversity, the better their innovation, their problem solving and creativity is going to be, and the better they're going to be able to understand their marketplace.
What Freshworks is trying to do is bring in these women leaders, whether that is as a talent acquisition specialist or as a designer intern or as a senior software engineer, really giving these leadership experiences at any level is really empowering women and empowering, at least me, to really see how far I can climb as a woman in the tech community with these male members of the community being there to support me.
You can't be what you can't see. And so that example is really important. And we have some real strong matriarchs in our community that have started and built tech companies here, and we hold them up as an example as often as we can. We're looking forward to seeing the next generation become that example for the generation behind them.